Welcome back to the Catch Podcast, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about Christianity against the current hold of your purpose. And in this episode, Taylor will be spearheading us.
Today we will be discussing purpose, and that's a lot of times we ask ourselves that question. A lot of people out there probably wondering, what is my purpose? What is the reason of why I'm here?
That's true.
That's the camera. All righty.
You're looking at the wrong one?
No, I thought I was looking at this camera, but I'm looking at this one. Hi, folks. All right. So into our first question, John and Vinny, what does purpose mean in your life?
That's a good one, Tay. Again, as Taylor has made all these questions because Taylor is
I don't like how every podcast she's always throwing it to me. Like, there's other people on this couch.
It's okay,
right?
John.
But they're not,
because we want your voice to be heard.
Right? They're not.
That's crazy.
What has purpose meant in my life? I think the great thing about purpose is how subjective it is. Like overall, like purpose is fully based on your experience, your life with God, the plans that God has for you. And I think in so many different ways and aspects, God has really showed me through even other people the way that sometimes people can care so much about their purpose that they lose that relationship that they were supposed to grow with him, because purpose is supposed to be built off your relationship. So when you're so busy trying to find your gift, find out why people care about you and what you're supposed to do with the rest of your life, you miss the time and the attention that you're supposed to spend with God, and now you're just spending it on just worldly things and worldly mindsets, and now you're just like, oh, I want to be this and I want to be that, but you're not taking the time to be like, I want to be whatever God wants me to be. So
that's good. I like that. It's like almost kind of how you perceive your purpose, but then you have versus your purpose in God.
Right.
I like that.
That exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the moment I was gonna say. So, I think the only way to truly know your purpose is for it not to be subjective. Can't be, because like if it's your thing, right? You have to, like what she said, right? It has to be in the will of God, right? If you don't know your purpose, focus on your passions, because it will lead you into your purpose. But that right there, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that right there is subjective, right? If we're all supposed to be in the will of God, I mean, the Bible talks about how his ways are higher than our ways. You absolutely do need a pastor to enlighten you on what your purpose could be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that would be my thing, is what purpose is, because it just can't be subjective.
Yeah. I would just like for it to be known that I'm pretty sure, John, you're saying objective. That's what you're trying to say.
What?
Objective?
I'm pretty sure you're trying to say objective.
That's what I said.
No, you said subjective the
You
entire
said
time.
it's not subjective.
Yeah, you said that the whole time.
Like Vinny said.
And I was like, wow.
Can you tell
subjective.
people what the difference is between subjective and objective?
So,
David is really good at that.
No.
Educate the people.
Everybody here knows what subjective
I don't.
and objective is.
Sometimes I get confused.
That's that right there. That statement right there. Let's get this out on the air so the whole world does know. I'm dyslexic. Praise God.
Okay.
Wow.
Bro, what's wrong with you, bro?
Headphones aren't loud enough.
What does that have to do?
I couldn't hear myself say subjective. I meant to say objective. I know the difference.
Subjective.
Because if I did know, why would I say it if I didn't know the difference? I digress.
Well,
Please, Dave, tell us. Give us the definition.
Okay. Before I say this, you can always go look it up. Just put it that way. But in my words, subjective is just anything that deals particularly with truth to a subject, like an individual. Whereas objective is something that's factual or that's true regardless or beyond or outside of that individual, right? So if I say, for instance, the sky is green today, and let's just say, for instance, that I really see the sky is green, right? But to literally everyone else, the sky is blue and my eyes are just messed up for some reason. Subjectively, to me, the sky is green.
Mm-hmm.
Objectively, the sky is blue because
So
it
John
is blue.
was right. And when he
Wait a
said-
minute. Yeah, I was right. I said
You
it
were
shouldn't
right.
be subjective.
He was saying it shouldn't be on your own accord, but it should be because of God, which is objective.
Right.
Oh my
that's good.
gosh! Look at me being right. And
So why did you let me say you were wrong?
Because you're always telling me I'm wrong, so I just kind of assume you're right
One
this
day
time.
be right.
The what? The heck? What?
So
I should. You know what?
so you were saying
your purpose cannot be relative. There we go. That's bad. That's a better word.
okay. So
Big
you're
word.
saying like purpose as in like the source of it has to be subjective because you have to find it individually.
Right.
But you're saying like the result of it has to be something beyond you, right?
Yes,
I got one.
absolutely.
Look at
Okay, right.
David
breaking stuff down.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like-
Because at first it kind of sounded contradictory.
It
with what you
did. That's
guys-
what because
No,
when he
but
said
you're saying
when he
it
said
has
it,
to-
yeah, and I
yeah,
agree with
okay.
Benny, and I was like,
I
he's saying
said I
Exactly.
said I agree to
Opposite
a
was-
certain extent because of what was said. If your passion is not something that is in the line of the
Of
will
God,
of the
yeah,
Lord,
then you won't.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
there's also like gifts and talents that you may not even know that you have.
Right.
So it's like at the same time,
That's why it always has to be
No,
God led,
yeah.
regardless of what it is.
I think purpose already lies in you. That's what I believe. Like ever since the foundation of the world, God already believed that, you're going to do this. And you may not know that passion unless somebody, like John was saying, a pastor is leading you like, how about you try this? And then it just clicks like that. I feel like that's what purpose is. But moving on to the next question, we never go through anything alone. And what greater example than to say is Jesus Christ himself. He had a purpose. And in John 4, which is this whole podcast is based off of this whole topic, in John 4, where Jesus is saying that he must need go through Samaria.
Yeah.
But it's a little, I wouldn't say it's a little sketchy, but I know for the Jews at that time, it's like, man, he going to the Samaritans,
Right.
Yeah.
which is also like, because there's a cultural divide between Jews and Samaritans at that time.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
true.
for Jesus to say, I have to go here, it was a little shocker. But, that's where his purpose was calling him to. And so this leads me into my next question. And David and Dakota, this is for you. So have sometimes your purpose called you in places or areas that you least expected it?
That's a good
Oh
question.
man, I wish I would have had this question.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had this one.
I mean, if you want to go.
I mean, yeah, if you want to go.
I did my bit.
Nah, bro, you're good if
Nah,
you want to go.
That's you. No,
You're good if you want
I'm
to go.
done. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Tell you.
He's done.
I would say absolutely. Because for a lot of times you have to be outside of your comfort zone in order to grow. Like if you keep doing the same, and this happened a couple of days ago. I was like, man, like people always ask me to do new stuff that I don't know how to do, and I'm always like, Lord, help me, I don't know what to do, right? But then it was like, it has to be that way, or else you would never grow. If you do the same stuff over and over again, like if I'm a basketball player and I shoot the same jump shot from the same spot in the court over and over again, I'm gonna get really great at that one jump shot,
Right.
but everywhere else on the floor,
Right.
Right.
it's gonna be like, you're okay.
Yeah.
Like other places may be outside of your comfort zone. So it's like, yes, sometimes your purpose will take you there, but it has to in order for you to grow and fully operate in your purpose.
Yeah, that's good. For me, I guess for the longest time, I didn't know like what my purpose was. Like I would, teachers would ask you in high school or whatever, people would ask you, hey, what do you want to be when you get out of college? Get out of high school, into college and all this stuff, or what are you good at, whatever. And it was really weird for me because a lot of people would always say that I'm like multi-talented. That's only because I just tried stuff out. Like I feel like if you try stuff out and you're consistent in doing so,
Multi-talented.
you'll get good at it, if that makes any sense. Okay. So I would just do stuff, whatever. No, but like a lot of people assume that that's like, oh, you should know what you want to do. There's so many, and I'm like, no, because now there's so many options. Now you really don't know. Like if you have that one thing that you're good at, you can go ahead and follow that. Like, John was saying about that passion, whatever, but it's just really difficult when there's so many different options. So for the longest time I didn't know. And then I don't know, it was just, that's why I always say follow the will of God. And it may not make sense to just say it, but literally when you live it out, it's literally what happened to me. God had given me an idea to be a blessing to somebody, encouragement to somebody, and I ended up having to edit whatever it was. And from then on, it was like so many doors were open for me, like so many opportunities were given to me in terms of editing, and that was something I really wasn't good at all. Like I I just never was into editing. And then I would just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And now it's like my passion. It's my purpose. I really do believe that I'm called to do it. I've, by God's grace, been able to encourage other people through it and help other people. So yeah, I guess when it comes to your purpose and being in uncomfortable situations, like, I've never done this, I don't know how this is going to work out. If you really do trust and believe God, like, he'll lead you into the right thing. So yeah.
I just want to say one thing on that. I think it is kind of, crazy the way that it works with purpose, because a lot of times it doesn't feel like purpose. Like you being in an uncomfortable situation, you're not like, oh, I know this is my purpose, so that's why I'm like this. Like, oh, I know God is leading me right here. Like, a lot of times it's just like, dang, here I am, somehow this is gonna have to work out. Like, and I think you never should really get caught up in the fact that you didn't get your purpose when other people got their purposes, because it's like, everybody is moving at a different speed right now. You are not the same person. Life is going to go on with or without it, So I feel like when it comes to purpose, you have to be willing to wait on it.
I am going to answer this question. I said I wasn't going to watch it. Because I honestly feel like I could answer this question a lot better than my first question. Here's why. I can't remember his last name right now. But you know what? Honestly, right now, it should be something floating over me that says Q's quotes. Because that's what this episode feels like right now. Q's quotes.
Q's quotes?
Honestly, that's
bro.
Right? I'm saying, right?
Q.
So, the first man to create the circus, Phineas, I can't remember his last name right now.
Phineas.
From
Barn?
P.T.
Barnum? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
He's
that was phenomenal. Okay.
This is his line. This is literally something he said. Comfortability is the enemy of progress.
Yep.
That's
So that's instantly what I thought about when she said, "Have you ever been uncomfortable?" Right? I mean, being uncomfortable is truly the only way to live. Right? And, here we go. Another one. Oprah Winfrey said, "The greatest gift you can have is a gift you can get or receive. Is get and receive the same thing. Give or receive. There we go. Is to find your calling. It's what makes you feel truly alive, basically." And that's what purpose is. It's when you truly tap into what you were called to do, and you have to be uncomfortable to do that, right? Yeah. Pain is literally fear leaving the body. So that is what we're. I don't want to say called to do, because I mean that's just being very super redundant. But that is what we're supposed, as God's creation. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to find our purpose in His will and His perfect work.
Pain is fear leaving the body.
Okay. Purpose allows you to know that it's not just you, but God using you. Right? I really feel, because there's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about He uses the foolish things in this world to confound the wise.
Yes,
and so it's like,
yes, He does.
It's almost like the purposes and what you feel like you're gifted at, you feel like you're not good at, you're not capable of, but you have to learn how to trust in God that He's going to help you through it, that you're not going to get the glory, but He's going to get the glory. That's why when it comes to like situation where you expect the strongest people to do it, the wisest people to do it, the people that are the most gifted, the most talented to do it, but God knows that they're going to receive the glory for themselves. But those people that are the weakest, the FWBDNs is what we say at our church, the foolish, the weak, the base, despised, and those that are not. Those things, God used those people because they will give the glory to God ultimately in their purpose.
All of the people in the Bible are like that.
Yes,
if you look at all the people that are greatly used of God, they all had to go through something. They all were people who were lesser than, fewer than. Right. I love Moses. Okay, now he had a speech impediment. I relate to him. I love Moses because sometimes stuff because I want to talk so fast, because if y'all don't know, I'm half Trinidadian. So we talk really, really fast. And so I have to try to slow myself down. And it be messing us up for real. I'm telling y'all. If y'all don't know. But because we talk so fast, like sometimes my words be whatever. Anyway.
Be whatever.
But just like Moses, he was used, literally, he told God, he was like, but I don't even know how to speak right. He was like, I don't care. I'm going to use you. I'm going to use Aaron to speak for you. And so God still used him. But if you look at the Bible, there's so many, literally everybody, there was something that was per se seemed to be missing, but God fulfilled that area.
Right.
Remember, Go ahead.
No, I was almost. That's the whole point. Almost none of them chose their purpose. They were like, "Oh yeah,
literally.
this is the thing that I'm supposed to do." Right? It's like you need someone to tell you that for you. Right. They call the old because they know the way, and the young because they're strong.
And it was already with them because when it came to Moses, he still had his rod even before.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
So purpose already was with him this whole time, and little did he know that God was going to use him with that same rod.
Right.
That's what I was about to say, because you mentioned the speech impediment, and I was like, because our Bishop and Elect Lady over at Emmanuel Stipple, go check them out. Yes. They broke it down and they said Moses was saying this to God, and God wasn't even necessarily planning on using his mouth all that much anyways. So it's a lot of times we're like, oh, but I can't do such and such and such. It's like, God's like, well, I'm not even planning to use that.
Right.
Like, I got this for you, and you over here talking about, I'm not worried about that, right? And God used it, like you said, with the rod and everything. And to your guys' point, like, if you were great at it before God called and used you, like there's no way he could get the glory. Right. Yeah. Like if you were already great and already doing it without him, which you're not, because God, I mean, he reigns on the just and the unjust. So whether you're saved or not, he already helps you to do what you're doing. But anyways, if you were doing that without acknowledging him doing that, then you wouldn't give him the glory anyways. Yeah. Right. That's why he has to use somebody that couldn't do it prior to, and then take them and then use them to do something great.
Like we said, we are coming back from John 4, of course. And later in the chapter, it talks about the woman at the well. I truly love this woman from the Bible. Honestly, I feel like Black females could honestly learn something from her. Because, not only are you being judged... Anyways, you're not only are you being judged for, being a Samaritan, but you're also being judged for being a female. And so that's why I was like,
but wait,
okay, I see.
Sorry, I don't even mean to open up this can of worms, but like
can of worms.
Do you feel conviction? Don't.
No. At that, no. You just know. I'm agreeing with you. You said female, so she's being ridiculed for being a woman, but like at that point, can't all women learn?
She said for being a Samaritan and a woman.
I get that.
Into perspective of being Black and being a woman.
Okay, but
it's set at two disadvantages instead of just one.
Okay, then we're at a disadvantage.
So, anyways, back to the question.
And a woman, like,
oh my God!
I'm just saying it's. Every race has its problems.
But she's speaking as a Black female, so it's.
She can only speak from Black women.
You're right.
Exactly.
I'm just saying
from a Black woman's point of view.
Let's not silence all.
She's saying women specifically in our country.
Don't mansplain it, because then we'll get canceled.
Oh my God!
I mean, you both kind of.
Okay. I didn't try to mansplain it. I'm just saying, let's not silence all. Every race has a problem.
Back to tag.
Dakota, cut this out.
Some are set at multiple disadvantages and stuff.
We're doing this over. But yes, Isaiah is literally mouthing at me. No, keep on going.
Cameraman's it.
Anyways, but yes, Jesus's purpose pretty much brought out a purpose in her, out of her. And I think she was one of the first ones where Jesus was like, you need to go tell everybody that the Messiah is actually here. Because at first it was on the down low, but then, okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was on the down low, but then, Jesus was like, go ahead and spread my light. But then there was something that she needed to let go of. And many times we overlook this, but it was a water pot that she had to let go of. So, and I really feel like that's really symbolic of what us Christians need to let go of today. Like, what do you need to let go of in order to fulfill your destiny and your purpose? So I'm leaving this question to everybody, and we all written it on paper. I don't know why I said written on paper, and we are going to put it in that little AKA water pot right there. David, are you gonna grab
bring it?
Yeah.
Bring it to the.
Here you go.
To the middle.
AKA
table.
Water
He fills
pot.
it with the worst water. Arrowhead.
Look at that beauty.
So yes, we are going to be putting in that water pot. So what is your water pot symbolizing what you need to let go of? Like, are you still working on it, or are you still in the midst of letting it go? Did you need to let go of excuses, disappointment, hurt, betrayal? What was it that you needed to let go in order to fulfill your purpose?
Ooh, this is good. I know what's written on mine, and I know why it's written on mine, so I'm gonna go first. So,
you better know why.
I don't know where my paper went.
So mine is, do I put it in there as I
Maybe
talk, or
no? Once you're done talking, then you put it in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it in there. Okay, so
don't miss, please.
I'm gonna miss hard. So Mine is other people's opinions, because I think, especially, you know.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
So especially being like the youngest of some great siblings.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Wow! I can't believe she said
She's
that.
repping Q straight.
So it's like you see a lot of different, you know, ways that people have lived, and you've seen how that has helped them or how it has decreased them, and in so many ways you have kind of become. You've used other people's opinions as a handicap so many times, because it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to do this because I know this person's going to see them like this, or I'm not going to say that because I don't want them to think this way about me. And a lot of times that can be such a big handicap, especially in the kingdom of God, because you can't be so worried about other people's opinions that you stop worrying about God. Like, there have been so many times in my life where I just be like, yo, I got to stop, because it's like, oh, I don't want to go up and speak, or I don't want to say that because I don't want people to look at me differently. But it's like, when it comes to God and your relationship with him, at one point, you know, you gotta give all that up. You just gotta be like, you know what, it's just me and him. So yeah,
That's really good.
That's good.
That's what's up.
Okay, put it in the
put
pot.
it in the pot.
Throw it. Oh yeah.
We're gonna burn it, guys.
Not burn it.
Let's do it next.
Okay, I don't want to mess up the demonstration, but I really don't know where my paper went. But I do got some. But I could do it. But I do
give
got
this
some.
man a paper.
Paper and pen.
Cameraman Zay, can you?
Okay,
can you
bet.
hand
That's okay.
Oh, look at.
Dave?
Okay, while this is.
Oh wow.
Cameraman Zay.
Wow.
You can't throw paper.
You can't throw paper.
You can't throw paper.
That failed horribly.
Okay, I'm gonna grab it.
No, he'll grab it. Thank you, Cameraman Zay. Shout out Cameraman Zay.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay, I'm gonna talk while I'm writing this down. So.
We're gonna hear the scribble, the mic, and the.
Hey, that's an ASMR though.
Ew, no.
But I
Stop.
What'd you say?
Nope.
ASMR.
Even okay, never mind. So my thing would be excuses. And I have a long. It's not a long story, but a short story about why this is one of my main things. So one time we were out and we were playing basketball with a group of people. And we had lost the game. So outside it was like super cold, right? And we hadn't really done this too often. But it was super cold outside. Our fingers were frozen, everything and whatever. So after we had lost, the guys we were with, we were like, well, our fingers were frozen and the ball got super cold. Oh, thank you.
Look at Tay being so helpful.
So helpful. Okay,
hey,
anyways.
Nobody told you this before. Being helpful is a gift.
Oh my gosh.
It is.
No, for real.
Oh my God.
Back to
That's
David.
literally in the Bible. Yes, but what were we saying? And we were like, oh my gosh, our hands are frozen and the ball was super cold and some. And he was like, does that really matter if you still lost? He was like, even if you were to deny that, and even if you were to say, like, denying it doesn't do anything. Even if you were like, no, it's not the reason we lost because our hands were cold, because our hands were frozen. It doesn't change the fact that you lost. And specifically, I take this a lot, even individually as a young man. Like, results are what matters. Like, effort doesn't happen in real life. Right. Like, people care what you actually produce. So it's not even just excuses, but sometimes emotions. Sometimes people get too emotional, like, well, I felt like, or well, they hurt. Like, honestly, none of that really matters. Like, God's gonna come to judge the fruit that you brought him, not how you felt. Like, that's the guy with the talent, the one talent. He literally was like, well, I knew you were a hard man, and I didn't want to, and I thought such and such was like, nah, fam. If you would have came back with one talent, regardless of how you felt, regardless of what you thought, excuses, you're supposed to bring back actual fruit, actual productivity. So excuses for me.
That's good.
Wow.
I feel like everybody
That's
can relate
good.
to excuses.
No, that's
Wow.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
What? Not even opening midweek service.
Yes, absolutely.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Turn to your Bibles with me too. No, mediocrity. Mediocrity is
that's a good one.
Thing.
Wow.
Everyone thinks it's okay to do just enough, and that's where you get the saying, "Enough is never enough." And that's just. I don't want to phrase this. I want to phrase this. I'm gonna throw this away now because I'm gonna keep thinking about it. What's happening?
Just keep going.
Oh,
yeah, just keep going.
Okay, so mediocrity, right? To do just enough. How am I trying to phrase? Oh, here's the best way I can phrase it. You wouldn't want God to do just enough for you,
right?
That's
because
facts.
At the end of the day, you never know. You never really know what you need and want. So you think you do, but you don't really know. So if God was to just give you just that, it's like, well, dang, I could use a little more. It's like, no, but I gave you just enough, right? So if you don't want God to do that to you, why would you do that to him? Oh, well, Lord, I did pray. I did read my Bible. That should be enough. But it's like, no, you have to.
Yeah, nah, bro.
We were actually all once told this. There was something I live by. You should never work your schedule around God, but work. I'm sorry, the other way around. You should never work God around your schedule. Work your schedule around God. It's like do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Kingdom work first. Do it for the heaven. Do it for heaven first, and then kind of fit those natural things in, right? Because Lord can come back at any time, and if he's back and you're out here like, but I'm doing my natural thing. I'm doing my thingy thing. It's like,
nah, bro. Yeah, you're supposed to be doing something else.
Exactly. You're supposed to do kingdom work, and that's where sins of omission and commission come in. Not commission, the things you do, but sins of omission, things you were supposed to do, but
you didn't do. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So mediocrity.
Wow, that's good. For me, I have associations, friends, people.
Specifically, she doesn't hang out with us anymore. I understand.
What?
No, it's okay. Throw us in the bucket. I'll get it.
No,
Shut
that's
up.
not what you meant.
We're not the association.
Yeah, we're not
Right.
the association.
No,
We know
no,
we're
no.
not the association.
Say, I need her to say that. I
This
need you
is
to say
a-
we're not the associations. Say
They're not the associations. This is past tense.
Insecure just a little bit, are you?
Something that I had to let go of. It was a little hard for me because I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this, but you do have those people who you're really, really close to, and I don't know. It's just sometimes the things that you feel comfortable doing around them, it's just not okay. And so you have to let go of those people in order to change yourself, because you can try to change yourself around your associations and whatnot. But sometimes you just gotta let that go. It's almost like, I'm not really good with analogies, but it's almost like you're tied to certain people.
Bondage.
And
Bondage.
in order for you to run a little faster, it's like, let's say we're doing a relay, I don't know, and we're just like all tied up together and we're all running, whatever. But you have everybody else slowing you down. How can you make it? You're gonna have to take that lonely road. And so that's something that I had to do, and it was very difficult. Like, just to be like, we say it all the time, man, I don't need nobody. I'm good. I got it by myself. And
but
then
when you
really
actually
alone,
do it, man, it's so much.
You got nobody to talk
himself,
to.
so
Right. So it's not the easiest thing to go through, but sometimes you have to, and that's what helps build your relationship with God. Because instead of trusting or putting your comfortability, whatever, with other people, now you're putting it in God. And that's something that I had to let go of so that I could build my relationship with God. So, yeah.
That's what's up.
Wow.
that's beautiful.
Come on, Taylor, bring us home.
All righty.
Do not.
Wow.
And,
My whole phone ringing.
Look at David.
The fame.
Just
It's the Lord calling, David.
No, it's the
The Lord.
Those
It's not.
associations
It's
calling.
not.
It's those associations calling.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, what I written down on my paper is fear. I
Ooh,
think
that's a good one. That's a good one.
there's a lot of songs to combat fear. But
There ain't no
I
room
think
in this store.
I would say it all started in my younger years.
Dear God, David, let her talk, man. I mean, like, the beginning of the song's fine, but let her speak.
I would say it definitely, I would say it really did. I think it involved with growing up. When I was younger, I was very, 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 very extroverted. I was very, like, out there. I wanted the attention and everything.
Hey, yo.
And I actually,
Come on.
What?
Vinny can relate, because us being younger, we were very, very much like, I want to be the main it girl. And I think that's where a lot of jealousy stemmed off of. Luckily, prayerfully, thank the Lord that he has delivered us from the spirit of jealousy, because it was real evident. But yeah, I was very extroverted, very younger. But then when I started to like grow up and be like, oh my goodness, I am very introvert. I'm very to myself. And it was like, I guess it was always like this fear of not always being accepted. But I would definitely say fear. Thank you. I would definitely say fear, because it was always like the what ifs. Like, what if I fail?
Right.
What if I do not accomplish this? Like, what if? It was always the what ifs. But then I remember a wise person just told me, they were like, but what if you succeed? Right. So it was like, I had to combat all the what ifs in my mind that was like negatively trying to attack me, because I knew it was the devil and I knew it was him. But then it was like, but what if I honestly am what God has called me to be? Right. So it was like, I would honestly have to build up that confidence in God. So yeah, that was something I needed to let go.
One thing
though, she did a good one. This is your episode for real. Like, woo.
Dang. But one thing I think is really like, it's kind of like crazy how they all tie in together, because and it kind of all really does stem from fear. Like when you're fearful about things, you're okay with being mediocre, because it's like,
I knew you was gonna hit me up first. Here's why.
Because come on, break it down.
I ain't afraid to
break down everybody.
Like, I'm not gonna do the most, so I'm just gonna do just the bare minimum. You know, when you're fearful, you get those type of associations of people that'll make you comfortable. When you're fearful, you'll end up making up excuses for yourself of why you won't do this or why you won't do that. And when you're fearful, you know, you worried about other people's opinions. It's like all of this goes back to fear, and I think that's one of the biggest problems for not just Christians but people in general.
Right. It's the
I
biggest
think we can
weapon.
all like throw in our fear thing, like Vince said. And
right.
We can all throw it in there.
I think something that helped me, somebody said, they literally was like, okay, David, like, you're doing good, but you tend to overthink, and you tend to, like, why are you hesitant? And then they proceeded to say, who got you here this far? And I was like, God. So, and then they were like, so why wouldn't he keep doing it?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, yo, that makes so much sense. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, like, Philippians 1 and 6, I believe it is, or Philippians 1 and 7. I'm not sure. But Philippians 1 or 6 and 7. And it said
1 or 6 and 7.
Yeah, 1 and 6 or 7. He that hath begun a good work is able to perform it unto the day of Jesus Christ. And I was like, yo, like if he started it, you literally have to remove fear and then trust and say, I don't believe that God would have started this in me.
Right.
And this comes with, a lot of people like to take that verse and shift it around, and they advocated for eternal security, but this is within biblical context. If you're doing what he told you to do, because he said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right. And we know what that is, both Old and New Testament, the New Testament law that Jesus laid down in Matthew 5-7. Anyways, if you're doing those things, you're living according to the word, he's going to take care of it. So just trust him, and then there's no reason to fear, right? Perfect love casteth out fear.
Yeah. And that's what, I gotta agree with Vince so much that this all just stems from fear. Like I said it early in the episode, pain is fear leaving the body, because and that's the whole everyone's problem. They're like, well, if this does happen, now I have to go through all of this, the repercussions. It's just like, it's for your making. Like bad things are gonna happen. Unfortunately, Earth is not your home. We're all trying to make it somewhere else. So you have to be willing to accept that pain, that fear. So just embrace it. It's gonna. That's the last thing to say. It's gonna happen. Embrace it.
Right.
And like I'm gonna take something from Q real quick. Like Jonathan McReynolds said, and I think like a bunch of other people have said before. Yeah, sometimes you gotta do it scared. Yeah, and that's
oh my God,
scared.
Literally, I remember that. Yeah,
dang, that was good.
I was about to say, in the words of Ty Tribbett, if he did it before, you can do it.
See, I'm not the only one who got quotes, y'all. No. We're all quotable.
We all quoting.
Not all quotable.
Yes,
the quotables.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us for this purposeful discussion. Hopefully, our purpose has sprung up a purpose in you, so you can find it in God. So we will
catch you later.